You know, but I think like God can bless something that's not perfect, and God can bless. He uses us.
Yeah,
you
the
know.
disciples are terrible.
Dude, I heard this thing, and because a lot of Christians want to like cut down on people. You know, one of my best friends, Pastor Stephen Furtick, I write so many songs with. People cut him down all the time, and I'm like, you don't know that man. You really don't. I don't know why people like to pretend they know me, or they just see clips on Instagram or hear a message or hear, you know, people, whatever. And I heard someone say one time, because I've even had my moments where I'm like, oh man, there's something up over there and da-da-da, and I wouldn't. And I heard someone say, who am I to cut down a tree that's still bearing fruit?
Yep.
That is every single one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of us is perfect. But you know what? God can still use us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean it gives you a pass on certain things, right? But I really believe there's a lot of amazing people out there preaching the word, artists that are releasing songs. No, they're not perfect, but they're trying, you know? And that's what hurts me when Christians, you know, hypocritically, you know, fire arrows at each other when it's like, dude, that's all of us. Like,
Yeah.
And I think we need to continue to give each other grace.
The truth is, when I see Stephen Furtick, I see a man that, of course, he's going to make mistakes because he's not Jesus Christ. But I really appreciate his heart and his vulnerability.
Yeah.
And when he speaks on stage,
Yep.
I see an authentic human being try to please the Lord.
Yeah.
As long as I see that,
Yeah.
and not the whole twerking and let me show you guys my album.
Right.
All right,
So-
wait, I'm so sorry. Just because we're talking about Stephen, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You told me that he's one of the most brilliant writers you've ever worked with.
The best writer I've ever written with.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah, Pastor Stephen Furtick.
So this guy does everything.
I got
bro. He's
invited.
a preacher. He's a bodybuilder. What is going on?
Yeah.
He doesn't
yeah.
have a carb.
I'm coming after him. I'm trying to bulk up.
When he holds the mic and you just see his like the veins
Yeah.
over here, I'm like, dude, did you just hit the gym? Why do you look
He's
like
a
that?
very disciplined guy. Yeah, I got invited to, so we're only like 3 hours from each other. I'm in Charleston, he's in Charlotte. I got invited to go write with him years ago, and I was shaking in my boots. I was terrified. I've looked up to him and their team for a long time. And they've had like just massive songs in the church, like so resourceful to the church. And so I was terrified, but I showed up, do it afraid, right? You just got to still do it. And showed up and hopped right in. There's about 4 of us. And I think over the next 2 days, we wrote 5 songs that landed on that record. And one was Graves in the Gardens, which is basically what put me on the map.
Wow.
And what's cool, it's kind of going
That was
back
the first
to
time you
like,
guys met?
that was the first day we had, really met in person. Actually, we met when I was 15, and he came and preached at my church.
No
and I was
way.
a worship leader on stage.
So you guys
And
shared the stage?
Yeah, we shared the stage, but he didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And I was like 15, and in Charleston, came because our churches are kind of close friends, and he came and preached at my church, and he comes up to me and he said something about, he was like, you got amazing hair. You're a handsome young man with a great gift. God's going to use you in a big way. That was it.
Whoa!
And having no idea that probably another 12 years later is when I would be invited into the room to write songs with him. He didn't even remember.
Did you undo your hair and just start going
Oh,
like
yeah.
this?
Full
You're like,
Samson vibes.
Remember this?
Yeah. I've been growing
That's where the
it.
strength comes from, actually.
You prophesied this. These locks.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
funny.
Wait, okay, so when I saw that he was a writer on some of your songs, and you say he's an amazing
Yeah.
writer, do you think that it's his ability to be able to know the stories of the Bible and then he's able to kind of put them in a lyrical way?
Well, so he grew up like playing in bands and stuff. So he had the musical gift already. But then God calls him to plant a church. Obviously, he had been studying, working on his communication gift and all that. But I do think his knowledge of the word, his hunger for it, and the way he digs and digs and digs, you marry that with he has studied all the best communicators, and he has taken the gold from all of them. I mean, we've had so many conversations about this. So he has an incredible communication gift. I mean, it's an art. And then the knowledge of the word, and then you put music to that, like that's what makes him this monster of just a spiritual gifts out the wazoo. He's just
Yeah.
insane.
I don't understand my church. I grew up in an Assyrian church.
A what church?
An Assyrian church.
Assyrian church.
But they speak in a different language. So
Oh.
I can't understand them.
Yeah, right.
And so like I would hide in the back and I would like listen to him preach.
No way.
I would never be able to receive the word of God if it wasn't for him. Like,
Wow.
The first time I started really understanding who Jesus was and his behaviors was from him and Joyce Myers.
Wow.
So I would sit there.
Dude, she's a firecracker.
Oh, she is
Oh,
crazy.
I led worship
with
at her conference once, and I wore leopard pants. I like to wear leopard pants.
And she's
Yeah, why
like,
not?
nah.
Leopard print? No, she was like, she noticed that day. So then the next day, she literally wore leopard pants, came out on the stage, and we had maybe
Oh,
said hey to each other, never. And she comes out on stage, and I'm just got done with the set. And now, of course, I didn't have my leopard pants on that day. I'm not going to wear them 2 days in a
Yeah,
row.
of course.
Or you'd be a serial killer to do that. But
How bad do you want to be spotted?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a fire fit. But she came in with her leopard pants, and she's like, "Look, I wore my Brandon Lake pants."
Wait, that's so funny. I love that.
I was like, I
She's such
think
a
you're
character.
like, I seriously thought she's like part of my family. I'm like, are you like my long lost like grandma or something? Yeah, just like she is amazing, dude.